Hey, what's up guys, it's Strategic Sam here and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video is going to be a little bit different than my normal The Streets videos, and for that reason being is because this is going to be mainly a discussion video about The Streets. As you may have noticed, The Streets has come a really long way, whether you've been playing for a year, 2 years, 2 years and a half, doesn't matter. But if you've been playing The Streets for a long time, then you'll probably see a lot of changes that have been happening, especially from back then until now. So in this video, I'm going to cover a good amount of things that I have discussed and thought of that should be brought up and should be addressed to pros and new players. But without further ado, let's get into the discussion. In the background, you're going to see some epic minigames gameplay, so you guys can enjoy that. And yeah, let's get into this discussion video. Let's go. It just doesn't seem to change at all, but it's crazy. Clans are rising, pros are rising, more pros, a second map, 2 types of free-for-alls. It's starting to rise now. The community is changing the way they look at this game now. Couple things I want to mention is pretty much KOS now is being underrated. A lot of pros, for example, Serpent God, who was Devin, Lunacy Hill, and others, etc., etc. I hope I said those names right, by the way. These kind of people and so forth that are in the tops, top 30, top 50, whatever you want to consider them. These pros, you're going to have to encounter them if you want to play competitive for this game at one point. Because there's 2 standpoints for this game. There's casual and there's competitive. Competitive, you have to face the pros, just like how I said. But in casual, you just play normally, pretty much. You just play like an average player. Clans are rising. I've been noticing how when I first started playing this game, I only knew about 2 clans that were for this game specifically. We had ODSG and L. Maybe there was more, but I probably just missed out. But now I could probably name about 5 other clans off the top of my head. Let's see who we got. Lynx, Adele, Dior's, Boo, Ghoul, Saviors, and etc, etc. But pretty much there are way more clans now compared to how it was back then. And it's crazy. They're growing tremendously. Some are pretty big, some are pretty small, but even the small ones, they will be growing at one point. Another thing I do notice is that there is a lot of clan wars for this game. Pretty much a clan war is based off of one certain playstyle, and that's literally the clans fighting each other until one side leaves, or rage quits, or whatever pretty much. But the playstyle of clans is literally just killing on sight, to be honest. The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because people are not trying to do KOS fights anymore. They're mainly trying to do face-to-face. Face-to-face fights are pretty beneficial. They're fairly beneficial. Pretty much what it is you just fight point blank in front of a person until one is dead, or see whoever has the better aim, better consistency, and better cancels, etc., etc. But pretty much KOS still needs to be practiced and tried to be mastered. Reason being why is because KOS is what will win you the wars and what will win you the big fights. If your group or clan does not have good KOS fighters, chances are you'll probably be losing, or you'll probably won't do as good as you would see yourself doing. Which is why if you have players on your side that know how to KOS and do very well at KOS, then chances are you will probably be the lead of the win. The Streets has come a long way ever since I've started playing and ever since a bunch of other people have started playing. Ever since Snake World decided to release some decent updates for seasons, probably like the winter map, the fall map, the summer map, quarantine map, the quarantine infections, and so forth. He also made a second map for this game. It's called the Prison. A lot of people already know about the prison because a lot of pros tend to go to the prison instead of play the normal The Streets map. But that map was made, and pretty much a lot of the pros tend to go there. So if you're looking for professional 1v1s or trying to make friends with pros, talk about strategy, etc., etc., the prison is the place to go. Another thing I've been noticing about The Streets is that there are way more exploiters now. Ever since the quarantine map, or ever since the removal of the quarantine effects for the Streets map, I've been noticing a huge rise in exploiters. My friends have been starting to exploit. Every server I go into has at least one exploiter, etc., etc. And that's absolutely crazy. I ended up hearing that a lot of people are saying the bans were removed, the ban list is gone, etc., etc., which means anyone who was banned at one point is pretty much unbanned now. And I've been hearing that quite a lot because usually that happens when there's an update for the game. Usually like a map update or an update to the scripting or the anti-cheat or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, pretty much at this point, I don't think you can even get banned from the streets. And if you do, then that pretty much kind of surprises me, but also not at the same time, considering a lot of people I know have been banned before. The last thing I wanted to touch on in this video was how there is actually a second game for this game. It's called Streets Customs. Pretty much I've been seeing a good amount of people go there too. The game is almost dead, I guess you could say. Only has about 50 to 100 players averagely playing a day at the same time. But pretty much that game is basically a leaderboard for the streets, and it's also a practice game for the streets. It's not exactly 100% accurate to how the streets is, but it's a fairly similar indication of how the game is. Considering the gun physics are pretty much the same, but the hitboxes are kind of different. But it's fairly good if you're trying to practice or if you're trying to get better with your first person aim. You only have 2 guns there, and you only have 2 weapons pretty much, and those are pretty much just Glock and Shotty. There isn't melees, there isn't any other guns. There is certain types of guns, but those are just cosmetics. And pretty much it has a leaderboard, which means all your kills are pretty much recorded, and you have a chance of becoming to the top 50 in either FFAs or 1v1 wins. And another cool thing about that game is that you can actually have your clan as a tag to represent your clan. So let's say if you're in Ghoul, you'll have Ghoul over your name, and it will also tell you what rank you are for that group. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much this discussion video. It's also basically talking about a various amount of things for the streets and how my experience has been going, etc., etc. If you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like down below. And also, if there is things that you want to mention about this video, or something that you have a tip or trick or anything that you want to mention, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. We can turn this video into a community discussion, and we'll see what everybody's thoughts are. Please respect other people's opinions, etc., etc. And yeah, if you guys would like to see also a tips and tricks video for this game, let me know down in the comment section below. I'll probably make a tips and tricks video if it gets enough support or if it gets a high amount of demand. But yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps up this discussion video. I really do hope you enjoyed, and as always, stay tuned for the next video. Catch you guys around.